Welcome, dear reader. I'm so glad that you made it here. I hope you're having a peaceful day, and if not, this video is here for you. Today I will tell you a bit about the 9 books that I read in January, but instead of just reviewing them as I normally would, I thought I could just read you the first sentence or the first few sentences of each book in order to create some anticipation, some suspense for you, and to motivate you to read these books as well, because January was a really good reading month. I read some incredible books that were all just high on the quality scale, and so that will be the first part of this video, just reviewing the books that I read in January. And the second part of this video, I thought I could motivate you a little bit for February and your February reading goals. So maybe you want to try to read 1 book or 10 books or something in the middle. Maybe we can plan it out together. First book that I read this year was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This book is enchanting, it's magical. I'm just going to read the first few sentences to you. Anticipation. The circus arrives without warning. No announcements precede it, no paper notices on downtown posts and billboards, no mentions or advertisements in local newspapers. It is simply there, when yesterday it was not. The towering tents are striped in white and black, no gold and crimsons to be seen, no color at all, save for the neighboring trees and the grass of the surrounding fields. Black and white stripes on grey sky, countless tents of varying shapes and sizes, with an elaborate wrought iron fence encasing them in a colorless world. Even what little ground is visible from the outside is black or white, painted or powdered or treated with some other circus trick. But it is not open for business. Not just yet. The next 3 books that I read were a series, All the Young Dudes, and my last video is all about this series. I talk in depth about it, or rather I cry in depth about it, but I gave all 3 books 5 stars. Summer 1971, St. Edmunds, Saturday 7th of August 1971. He woke up in the dark. It was too hot in the little room they'd put him in, being early August, though he supposed that could be the fever. He always had a high temperature the morning after. They used to put him in a room with a window, but a few months ago he'd been able to smash one of them, and if it hadn't had bars anyway, then he'd have escaped. He'd heard them talking about restraining him as he got older. He tried not to think about it. Next, I finished The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. I did not expect the ending. It's incredible. I expected everything but what happened, and you will probably too. Dr. Shepard at the breakfast table. Mrs. Farrar died on the night of the 16th to the 17th of September, a Thursday. I was sent for at 8 o'clock on the morning of Friday the 17th. There was nothing to be done. She had been dead some hours. Next, I read Sueños y Realidades by, well, it's by several authors, but some Gabriel García Márquez are in here as well, short stories, and some by Julio Cortázar. This is a collection of short stories of magical realism and fantastic literature, and all of these are beautiful. I don't normally like reading collections of short stories because they just don't feel connected most of the time for me, and I just have a hard time getting through with them. But as this was for school and we always took one out and worked at it in depth, I really enjoyed this. I'll just read you the first page of the first short story, which is La luz es como el agua by Gabriel García Márquez. En la Navidad los niños volvieron a pedir un bote de remos. De acuerdo, dijo el papá. Lo compraremos cuando volvamos a Cartagena. It's in Spanish, so yeah. If you want me to do a video in Spanish talking about 100 años de soledad, 100 years of solitude, then write that in the comments down below. I can do it with English subtitles. I haven't finished the book yet, so it's not in this video, but it will be finished soon. The 7th book that I finished this year was The Only Study Guide That You'll Ever Need by Jade Bowler. She is a YouTuber, a really famous YouTuber. You might know her as Unjaded Jade, and I've been following her YouTube channel for several years now, and I really enjoy her as a YouTuber. So I bought the book online as a Kindle, and I gave it 3 stars. I'm sorry. I really do think that it was a well-written book and that it can be helpful for younger students, but most of the advice that she gave, I already apply it in my day-to-day school life, and that might be because I'm in my last year of high school now. It was still a really good book, especially the last part about what to do after school. That really helped me personally, and I think that this is a really good basic study guide for any student seeking advice from somebody who went through it all already. Welcome, I have a secret. I know something about you. I don't know your name, I don't know your life story, but what do I know? I know you care. Whether you believe it or not, you care about your education, your future, and your learning. You see whether it was shoved in your hands by an eager parent or ordered online in a time of crisis. You picked up this book and made it to this first page, and that means you want to take charge of your education. You decided to invest your free time in reflecting on how you study, which is so bloody cool. Didn't help me as much as I hoped it would, but if you're a bit younger, so younger in high school, it's especially helpful for high school. The 8th book that I finished is none other than Heroes by Stephen Fry. I did upload a video, a reading vlog, where I read this one, and I finally finished it. I gave it 5 stars. No, actually, I gave it 4 stars, not 5, because all the heroes in here are male heroes. Apart from Atalanta, she is the only female hero in this book. Greeks, they were sexist. No, okay, it's not Stephen Fry's fault, but in general, I enjoyed myth more than heroes, because this was a basic overview of all of Greek mythology, and this was an overview of heroes in Greek mythology, and I prefer myths in general rather than the stories of heroes. And also, I missed the story of Achilles in here, because in my opinion, Achilles is a hero as well. Not only in my opinion. Zeus sits on his throne. He rules the sky and the world. His sister wife Hera rules him. Duties and domains in the mortal sphere are parceled out to his family, the other 10 Olympian gods. In the early days of gods and men, the divine trod the earth with mortals, befriended them, ravished them, coupled with them, punished them, tormented them, transformed them into flowers, trees, birds, and bugs, and in all ways interacted, intersected, intertwined, interbred, interpenetrated, and interfered with us. But over time, as age has succeeded age and humankind has grown and prospered, the intensity of these interrelations have slowly diminished. In the age we have entered now, the gods are still very much around, favoring, disfavoring, directing, and disturbing, but Prometheus's gift of fire has given humankind the ability to run its own affairs, build up distinct city-states, kingdoms, and dynasties. The fire is real and hot in the world and has given mankind the power to smelt, forge, fabricate, and make, but it is an inner fire too. Thanks to Prometheus, we are now endowed with the divine spark, the creative fire, the consciousness that once only belonged to the gods. The Golden Age has become an age of heroes. The last novel that I finished, actually just yesterday, is another Greek mythology retelling. I can't resist. I have to read Greek mythology retellings all the time. I base my whole identity on this. This novel, I got the inspiration to read this novel from Emmy, her YouTube channel. I don't know whether you know her, but she's quite the famous booktuber. So Emmy, thanks for that. It's like the Persephone and Hades ship. Persephone. I really hate these parties. Don't let mother hear you say that. I glance over at my shoulder at Psyche. You hate them too. I've lost count of the number of events our mother has dragged us to over the years. She's always got her eye on the next prize, or the newest piece to move in this chess game only she knows the rules to. It might be easier to stomach if most days I didn't feel like one of her pawns. I gave that book a solid 3 stars. It was enjoyable and really easy to get through. It's just a 2-sitting read. You sit down and read half of it, and it's just enjoyable, relaxing, entertaining, bit on the dirty side, but that's not a bad point. And so those were the 9 books that I read and finished this month. Now let us move on to the February reading plan. Just a little bit of inspiration for reflecting. You can go grab a notebook or a notepad and a pen and just jot down some books that you want to read, maybe out of the list that I just gave you. I especially recommend The Night Circus to everyone, and All the Young Dudes, of course. I'll just reflect a bit on my month now, and you can do the same. What went well? What did not go so well? And what do you want to take into the new month with you? Okay, so I mostly do these spreads once a month because they just serve as inspiration for me, and the rest of the month I just use this journal just to write out my thoughts, and it's really helpful. For example, in January I had this spread, and I always choose pictures which I simply print on paper, which will represent what I want to attract and manifest for that month and what I hope for, and I always turn to this page throughout the month. Now in February, when I want to attract trust in the power of the world. And now for the books that I want to read in February, I have here my reading journal. That's my normal journal, and this is my reading journal. For example, I had this January page. It's really minimalistic. I always write down just a review of a book, for example, here for the night circus, and then here I have just my January goals and what I actually read. And for February, I am going to try to read 10 books. Try. It's not a must because I do have pre-finals coming up, so the exams I have before my Abitur, so the Vorabitur in Germany. And the books that I'm currently reading already are The Power of Now, which I'll definitely finish this month in February, and of course 100 Years of Solitude, which I also plan on finishing this month. I'm also currently reading The Secret History as a Kindle version. This is my Kindle. It's out of battery right now, but I have one other fan fiction that I'm reading right now, which is called A Taste of Honey, and I'm halfway through. I also want to read that. And my other book on Kindle is The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie, which is quite the short book, so I should be able to finish that. And here are all the physical books that I want to read in February. These 3 were gifted to me for my birthday last week. Here, Good Omens. This is fantasy, but it's supposed to be really funny and entertaining, so I'm looking forward to this one. Then with my book club, we are reading Fahrenheit 451 this month. If you want an in-depth discussion of this at the end of the month, then let me know in the comments down below. Then I want to read The Midnight Library. I am just about to finish Notes on a Nervous Planet, which is also by Matt Haig, and I can really recommend that to you. I like him as an author. This one has been sitting on my bookshelf for a long time, and I've already started it, and it's great. I really want to read this because I want to be informed. I want to be able to talk about this. And then the last book is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I love these editions. These are the vintage classics. I don't know whether I'll be able to read this month, but I'll try. It's my goal to read this one. Right, and those are the 10 books. Also, Notes on a Nervous Planet technically makes it 11 books because I didn't finish it yet. These are the books that I want to read in February, and this is my spread. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Stay updated for new videos to come. Love you, Aline.